Right.
Are we live?
We are.
Are we on the things? We're not on the things, are we?
Yeah, we are.
We are on the things. Welcome everybody back to Side Note. This time off the leash. You guys wanted it. You guys are gonna get it. Uh yes. So you're joining me as always on one of these sides because I see different cameras at the moment. So somewhere over there, Speed Demon. Again, this
I'm
has
here.
been
Hello.
a really drawn out pathway, but we're back. Um So going to be interesting going forward with the raw, unedited bullshit version of Side Note. I guess you
Oh,
could say, couldn't you?
already off to a cracking fucking start.
We got Tech. Just Tech's reminding you, mate. Just clean his room. All right. Just
Yeah,
he can
sure.
see it's a bit
Yeah,
messy there. Just clean his
yeah.
room. All right.
Right. I'll,
Uh,
I'll be on that.
We're going to have to share him when he comes over. Oh
Yeah,
dear.
sure.
All right. Um. So as per always, guys, anything shared within the show is of our own opinion. We are not affiliated with anybody, any company, any version of any company. It is all our own opinion. Uh, some of you may have noticed that I was doing just chatting streams. We're now going to shift over to SideNote to do them and get some more insights and have some more fun. So, Speed, you had a cracker you wanted to start with about
Oh,
a certain new feature on a certain old platform.
right. So, uh, coming into the news this week, Twitch. Actually, where's my? Oh, it's on me.
Yeah,
Helps if I
yeah,
actually
you
have it
said
out.
the T word. Yeah,
So I
you
even took
said
fucking.
Twitch.
I took a fucking screenshot. I still didn't even look at it. Twitch has well, will be releasing a new feature regarding their raids. Naturally, they're only going out to select people, which is the Twitch thing to do. So what they're planning is you as a streamer will be able to click the raid quick action button to see streams suggested for you. All right, that's fine. Filter based on viewer count, uptime, category, raid history, and more. And that's where the red flag started fucking waving really hard.
Well,
Because
I mean, if you
that's.
had to read that before the red flags waved, you're a bigger idiot than I
I
thought.
mean, any
Um,
sort of update
as
from
soon as
Twitch
it's got the
support.
purple T on it,
Yeah,
I'm instantly red flagged and looking at
yeah,
that shit going, it's going to make me
yeah.
cringe.
I mean,
It's going to
anything
make me
from Twitch
cringe
support
hard.
is just going to be like really gross. So obviously, it doesn't explain the and more. It just leaves it at and more. So
Which
God
is
knows what else
typical
they're going to
Twitch.
put into that.
It's typical Twitch
Yeah.
meta, basically.
So
It's like, oh, we're doing this and something else
yeah.
over there.
So but this just proves that Twitch can't get out of that sort of metric mindset. They are stuck. Like they have they can't go anywhere else. So
Well,
like
you're right in that aspect, but I guess the biggest issue that I see with it is why should a raid feature be tied to any metrics at all? Period.
exactly.
That's the biggest thing that got under my skin. Again, it's a raid feature. The idea of a raid is to bring your community
Mm.
to a community that you may have found on your own back, or like through networking. You found this. So my point would be, at what point does the raid counter negate the networking process of what a streamer should be doing?
Well, like as we like very quickly discussed the other
Hmm.
day, um, like ways that we would use it, based on our moral standpoint and whatnot, how we would
The
use those
smart people, yeah.
functions. Yeah, but then there's everyone else,
Yeah,
who's it's going to be a large majority of
right.
people, right? So, the first one, filter based on viewer count, right? So we,
Bum, bum.
with our high moral standards, right? We would be like, oh, sweet, we get to look for people who have low viewer counts, right? Because that helps. That helps everyone at that stage. But then there's everyone else who's going to be like, oh, right, well, I'm just going to go and raid the person who has the highest view count, so I can get my time in the spotlight. So
Let me go and raid Ninja so he sees me. Yay!
yeah, it's like, oh, look, my name appeared in front of all of these people. Look how good I am. Like, no.
So so again, my biggest problem with that is just that one point alone is we already know the top 5% of the streaming industry, whether it be Kick or Twitch or Facebook, we all know their viewbot. We all know it. Let's be honest. We all know they viewbot. So these people that they're suckering in on these raids on view count alone are putting their name to bots and not actual people who are actually going to come and give a shit about them as a creator and them as with their content, right? So again, with the whole view count thing, I've always hated it. I've always hated doing anything based on view count because it's so easily manipulated.
Yeah, absolutely. So just quickly, Tech said it seems like they're doing the networking for you, and it does seem that way. It seems like the lazy way to network, isn't it?
It's they're not doing the network for you. What they're doing is saying, hey, you've limited your search to 25 concurrent viewers. Here's a list of people under 25 concurrent viewers. Again, stop being a lazy ass and go and click the freaking sort button on top of the explore page. It says view count low to high. Oh, look, there's a whole string of a site that has under 25 viewers. Like, really?
Yeah. Unfortunately, this implements a shit ton of variables, right? So, like, say someone did use this new raid function. They raid out, then what? What do they do after that? Well, pretty good chance they're just going to fuck off. They're not going to say anything. They're not going to hang around. They've done their part. They've raided out. Whatever. They look like the good guy.
Yeah.
But they're not actually doing anything. And then you'll get...
doing what they commonly call on Mixer is hosting and ghosting. It's like, hey, here's my people. Bye. And fuck off and get out the door. And didn't give two shits. It's like, you at that point, you're doing that purely for attention.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's all you're doing it for. There's no reason.
I mean, see, the thing with that, like, I see, like, you have respect. As a streamer, you have respect. If you're going to raid someone, hang around. Like, even if you have to get off, right? It's absolutely dire need that you must get off. Hang around for a couple of minutes. Those extra couple of minutes are not going to hurt. Just hang around, have a chat, say, sorry, love to say, I really do have to go. Hope the raid helps. But don't just go dump, run.
Because all they're trying to do, and this kind of stems sideways a little bit, but all they're trying to do is stepping stones. They're doing whatever they can to get popular, to be seen, to be the #1 streamer. That's all they're trying to do.
And I've this is something that you've seen as well over here. You'll have people pop into a stream, go hi, and then leave. Right, almost immediately. I know you know who I'm talking about.
I know exactly.
But there's a handful of those people around.
Yep.
Right, and that's almost just as lazy, isn't it? There's no effort there. Like, it's very easy to just click on a stream, go hi, and then out the door.
Look, I mean, it is just as lazy, but in some facet, it's not. It's not the same level as handing over 25 people and then fucking off out the door.
True.
Right? You're going in, you're saying hi. You're kind of putting your name there to show in some, like, so, okay, for LiveSpace at the moment, if Doris comes in and says hi, we know it's an actual person, right? We know it's an actual account. Where
Yes.
if you just look in your chat list and see names and go, oh, well, no one's actually fucking spoken, how
Mm.
many of these are actual bots? So again, if we take away the element of just saying hi, it could also be the test for the person to see if you're responding to your chat, or if, as we'll cover later on in the show, you're distant from your chat, right?
Yes.
So that'll come up later. But again, that kind of bridges the two worlds together. So
Mm.
do I think it's the same? No, because raiding, when you drop 25, 30 people, and then you fuck off out the door, uh, it's like picking up a bus full of friends
Mm.
and saying, hey, we're all going to fucking Speed's place for a party.
Mm.
I turn up, I drop them all out the bus, and I drive off. Like, here,
Yeah.
your problem. Now you deal with it. You know, like, no, I
They're
don't want to
yours
fucking deal
now.
with it. I'm not coming in. Yeah, no, fuck off.
Yeah.
You know what
But
I mean?
the problem stems from that as well, because when the streamer does do that, where they show up and they sort of take the praises for the raid, they hang around long enough for that, and then they leave. Half of the raid is going to leave as well.
Yep.
Because there's no, you need to lead by example, essentially.
Mhm.
Like if the streamer's staying, right, most of the people in the raid will sort of hang around a little bit longer.
I'll
Right,
always, if I
Yeah.
raid, I'll always stay in the chat. I'll have a chat and I'll do it, and then I'll kind of just scope out what's going on. You know, I'll see out of the list who I brought over. I'll see who hangs around. I'll see who's got, who's got my back. You know,
Yeah.
in that aspect.
Yeah. So like moving on to the other filters, like uptime.
Completely negated.
Yeah,
Completely.
again, like we,
I mean-
we discussed that, and they were like, it doesn't matter. Like
There
unless
is a certain point where, okay, like you said, if they've been on within the first 10 minutes, you know they're probably going to be on for a while. If they've been on for 7 or 8 hours, they're probably not going to hang around too much
yeah,
fucking long.
a good chance they're
Right,
not going to
so,
be long. Yeah,
you
but
know-
like even like so, I said to you like the 4 hour mark, right? It doesn't really explain a lot. Like they could be halfway through their whole day of streaming. You just don't know. They could
So-
be at the very end.
I had a twist on that, and I was thinking about it after we spoke about this the other day, and I had a thought, and I was thinking, okay, now let's just throw a curveball into this mix for a minute. The uptime works if you know somebody's schedule,
Correct.
right? So if I'm going to go and raid Tech, and I know his schedule is, a 4-hour window, and he's getting on 3 hours, I see his uptime. I already know there's no point going there because he's only going to be on for another half an hour, and he's out the door.
Yeah.
So again, it can work, but not as a recommended feature. The
All right,
uptime
so-
would be good if you had a followers who you could raid, and it had their uptime, because you could then generally work out a rough gauge as to, someone shoots for 6 hours, they've only been going for 2, they've
Yeah.
got a good 4-hour window. Hey, go and have this.
Now that's
boost.
actually not a bad idea, right? If there was a raid function where it showed your followers as priority, for example,
Yeah.
but under the or beside their name, it would say how long they've been streaming for. That way, you kind of got a gauge. Be like, oh, yeah, they've been on for 3.5 hours. They're probably going to hop off soon, because they're the people that you're following. You kind of know how
That's
long
right.
they stream for, so that's a pretty good idea. But I mean, you could also change it to where, it would only show up people who have been streaming for the last hour or less. There are pretty good
Yeah.
chances they're going to stay on for a bit longer than that. So
I'm not a fan of using uptime as a recommended feature,
no, it's very
because every creator has a different schedule.
true. I mean, I have seen streamers who've only streamed for an hour or less.
Yeah,
I've seen less
45
than an
minutes,
hour.
50 minutes. Yeah.
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 And yeah, that baffles me. But anyway, that's beside the point. Yeah, so there's a lot of it's
don't
not
like
the
the
most
uptime as a recommended.
solidified sort of way to do it.
If this is going under recommended streamers to raid out to, and uptime is a criteria, fuck that shit out the door and throw it in the dump because I don't
Well,
like it. That's just a bad implementation straight
but
away.
but it's classic Twitch though. It's a
Oh,
ridiculous
it
metric
is.
that they're using.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
So the next one, like we both agreed on this. This is completely stupid. Like category. Categories, pointless.
Yeah, I mean, look, again, you kind of got to play devil's advocate, and you kind of got to throw shit to the wind here and go, well, there are people that will only raid in the same category,
I understand that.
which again limits the exposure that they can give themselves as part of the networking process,
Yes.
and why you would want to use a different category. So again, you know, you got to play devil's advocate. You got to play both sides of the fence.
Yeah.
They've got to cater to that because half their Muppets over there wouldn't have a fucking clue anyway.
No, they wouldn't.
And they want to sit there and go, oh, I'm playing COD. Everyone loves me playing COD, so they're going to love the next person playing COD. Fuck off. No.
Yeah.
Because not everyone plays...
but
COD
yeah,
is
like,
something that
'cause
isn't the same. Two people don't play
I
it the same.
see what you're getting at there, and it's like, it's not just the category that they're looking for; it's the game they're looking for.
That's
It's
right.
like if they only play Overwatch, they're only going to raid out to people who
That's-
play Overwatch because they know
right.
that their community loves them watching them play Overwatch. So
But that is stupid creator brain.
it is.
Because we watch you play Sudoku. Be fucked if I'm
whatever
going to sit there
reason.
and watch someone else play Sudoku. Screw that.
Yeah.
I sit
But
and watch you play
but-
with plastic ducks in a water pond. I ain't going to
Right.
watch someone else do that.
but then it comes down to how that creator makes their content.
That's my
You know,
point. There's a certain level of what you do as a creator isn't what the next person's going to do. So you can't
Exactly.
have mentality is, oh, I'm playing Overwatch. I'm going to take everyone to Overwatch because it's not the same. It's a different feel. It's a different
Because
enigma. It's a different stereotype.
like I think I understand why they do it. It's almost like a hopeful situation where, you know, if they raid someone who's playing the same game, the community that's watching them might be like, oh, this person also plays this game.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go check them out. So it's like sort of like leeching in a way.
Oh, geez, that's a subject for another fucking day. That is. Oh, put that in the fucking list. Actually, I'll do that while we're talking. You just
Do that.
you just keep yapping.
Because the next one was the one that sort of spurred the most out of our conversation was raid history. So
Ooh.
now,
And I've thought about that too.
yeah,
Oh.
now it can go many different ways, right? So this falls under the whole viewer count thing as well. You know, you're gonna have those people who'd be like, oh, I'm gonna search for the people who've had the most raids, in hope of something. Again, leeching. You know, but for us, we'd be like, oh, yeah, we'll go and raid someone who's hardly been raided or hasn't been raided. You know, boost their spirits up a bit. Be like, you got this, champ. You know. But
Yeah.
it's just
It's as soon as you start bringing in erratic, out of control metrics, and that's what this whole shit bucket is. It's a completely off tap bunch of metrics that are completely useless to anything within the streaming industry.
absolutely.
Like, I'm sorry, for a raid feature, all I want to do is go raid.
Yeah.
Because you know what? I or my mods have gone and done the fucking work to go and find a recipient who is worthy of getting the raid from my community.
So,
like, you know what I mean? Like,
but all right. So here's a question, right? When it comes to raiding, does it really matter who gets the raid? If you just select someone at random, does it really matter?
well,
Because the
I mean,
only major downside, right, is if you raid said person without actually doing any sort of prior digging, and you went in there and they're like N word, N word, N word. You know, just
Or they could be like that fuckwit off Kick the other day who got done for being the, you know.
yes.
I don't want to use the terminology, but anyone who's seen the video in the last week and a half that's been
Look,
circulating on Kick,
look again. Like
you know,
this
you don't
is
want to be
off the
rating
leash,
people
and
like that.
I'd
So
more
yes.
than happy. I'm more than happy to say what he did.
Oh no, no, no!
'Cause-
I know what he did. The video's there though, but
Yeah.
you don't want to be just going rating and then hitting that for your community to see that, because that gives
No, look,
your community the wrong impression of you as a content creator. You're going to these dipshits and they think, oh, well, he supports him. This guy's a dipshit as well. I'm not going to come back. So, yeah,
yes,
if you get a raid from a community that comes in and says, hey, you know, well, you're a friend of our streamer, you know, you're a good dude. We like you. And then you go and raid a dipshit like that, it makes you look stupid to my community. So, yes, rating targets do matter. Yes, 100%. There's no question about it.
yeah,
That's why even on LiveSpace, if I'm going to do a raid, it's we go and find a specific person who is making content, who has actually got the same moral, if you will, on streaming as what we do. You know.
yeah. I mean, like this opens up a big door for LiveSpace, really, on how they approach these sorts of matters. Because you know, very clearly, metrics aren't a thing. They what are metrics? We don't understand what they are.
And they shouldn't either.
Yeah. So, you know, there's many different ways that you could go about, you know, doing a raid. You know, for example, if you wanted to raid, it could come up with like 6 streams that are live currently, right? Just at random, right? You go check them out before you finish streaming, or your mods have access to that and they can go and check them out.
Here's my thing, okay? And I think LiveSpace has set themselves up for success in this field specifically for raids and hosting, if you will. Okay. The fact that the front page cycles every refresh, right? They have that already inbuilt into the site in general.
Yes.
Now, what if you went into your dashboard, so what you're looking at now on LiveSpace, and it said raid? You click on that, and it gives you a set of people, and you go, they're all playing Power World. You know, we're burnt out on that. We need something fresh. Click the refresh button, gives you a new list.
Yeah.
They've already got that tech built. It's sitting right there.
Yeah.
Harness it and use it and bring it into that raid feature. And then you can say, hey, you know, I could be sitting there while I'm streaming and we're doing this. You could be checking already raid targets out by now. You know, you could be doing it already.
Yeah.
You know, you could be being, you know, me through Discord saying, hey, go and check out this person, or get Lady to go and check out that, get tech. You know, you could be getting those sort of things running. So as a streamer, the inbuilt refresh variables are already there.
Yeah.
And it would make sense just to plug and play and go, hey, here's the first 10 people. No, don't like them. Okay, here's the next 10 people.
Yeah.
Oh, there's only 4 more people online. Okay, there's 4 more people. That's it. There's 24 people live. There you go.
Yeah.
You know, so you've got ideas. You've got people that you could run with.
Yeah.
So I think the feature that's already built is in line with what you could use for the rating / hosting, however they go about it.
Yeah, no, I agree. Because
Bit like
you're
a
better
mini
off
homepage.
using what you have
Yeah.
to the best of your ability to get the most out of your product.
I mean, you've already written that code, so it's just a simple copy paste, and then you just change the way it reads the code. You know
I
what
mean, you
Like,
just, essentially you just change how you access that information.
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Really.
So the fact that they could just plug and play that,
yeah,
I think LS is already on a winner. Straight away, LiveSpace has already got this in the bag.
Yeah. I
places
agree.
like Twitch where they're trying to reinvent the wheel and come up with some new weird wanky process, and it's only given to selected people, and then some people won't get a raid because I'll be under X viewers anyway, or it'll only go to affiliates with 50. There'll be some other bucket of bullshit attached to that, like, oh, anyone under affiliate and 20 concurrent viewers
Yeah,
can't be rated. Like, what?
yeah. It's
it's
it's a weird state. It's like
it is.
they want they want content creators to grind really hard,
Oh,
but they're also bringing out features to make them lazier. So it's a weird sort of balance that's going on that doesn't add up. Like, you can't do both. They don't work.
yeah. No,
So,
you can't.
if you try and
You-
do
you
both,
either-
you're going to fail. All right? So,
You either need to give the creators all the tools, or you need to give them no tools. You can't just give them selected tools that are useless to you and hope that they can make something work with it.
I reckon, like, go back to how it used to be, right? Minimal tools, right? Very basic functionality. Make people do those things. Because then, at that
Ta-da!
stage, it was
LiveSpace.
like, yeah, but at that stage, it was, you put in the hard work for literally every aspect of everything.
Yeah. You had to.
Yeah. Now it's like, oh, I can set up a bot to tweet out everywhere and send messages, and like, I just got to hit a button. And with that one button, I can go live, send messages out, I can do all of these things. I don't have to do anything anymore. Like,
Auto change scenes, move
like,
cameras, all that shit. Oh, I don't know who does that. Speed.
hey, look, it made my life a hell of a lot easier. No, but I still go through the effort of setting all that up and making sure it's right.
Yeah.
I don't
mean,
I don't just hit a button and just everything magically happens. There is a lot of effort into what I do.
Yeah, I mean, there is, again, there's a certain point where you need to have some sort of commitment to your own stream or your own
Yes.
like you're creating content. Like, you need to have some sort of figure over yourself, right? That's yours. I mean, at the end of the day, SideNote is ours. SideNote Lord is mine. Like, at the end of the day, like, that's me. I've got to put that effort in. If I'm not going to put the effort in, I'm not going to get any of the results out of it. And I'm aware of that. But at the end of the day, it'll happen when it does. Like, there's no rush for that, right? Like,
Yeah.
I've still got time in my lifetime to actually make that work. So again, right now, it's not a big priority. So again, creators are just going, oh, I'm only 22 years old. I've got to have all the whiz bangs and everything, and I've got to hit the one. And they're the ones who are going to fail, right? In all fairness, they're the ones who are going to fail because they don't understand or appreciate the work that actually has to go in to be successful.
Yeah. Because this generation, and I know I'm going to upset a few people, this generation is a lazy generation.
Oh.
Like, it is exceptionally lazy. I know, coming from a millennial, like, a lot of you people are going to be like, oh, well, but
no,
but we grew up on, the ethics of hard work. That's how we were taught. Hard work, get results. That's how it was.
Yeah,
now, like, you just have people who just show up and just expect people to bend to their whim, at the drop of a hat. Like, no.
I mean, look at the videos that are circling on fucking Twitter right now of, like, youth or kids starting their first job, and it's a 9 to 5, and they're like, I've got no time for my weekend. I've got to do washing. I've got to do that.
How can people survive doing this every day?
You've been doing it like 30 years now. Fucking live. Shut up.
Like,
Pipe back down.
I've done that shit for the last 2 decades. Get over it.
Like, again, but the ones who look for the easy way out, the easy path from A to fucking Z without going through the rest of the fucking letters, are the ones who are going to suffer.
Yes.
they will fail.
Yeah. But we saw it, what, maybe 5 odd years ago. You'd see people who'd show up into the streaming world and just expect success based on whatever they were doing.
Oh, I'm playing Fortnite. I'm as good as
Yeah.
Ninja. Look, I win more games. Why is
Yeah.
no one
It's
coming
like,
to me?
oh, I streamed for an hour and no one showed up. It's like, okay, but it was your first stream, yeah? It's like, yeah. Okay, well, you got to give it a bit more time. Oh, that's just too much effort.
Yeah.
Why can't people?
Live?
No.
No, I didn't tell him. I just went live and played fucking Fortnite. Everyone should be in my stream, shouldn't they?
Yeah, I didn't even tell my closest friends that I was doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's it. Hey, that sounds like you, mate. You don't even tell us when you go live.
You'll find out.
It's like, oh, you find out. There you go. See, there's the part that we're talking about.
It's different for me, though.
It's not different. But no.
No.
That again, that's what we're seeing though. Is if they can take 3 steps to get from A to Z, that's all they're going to do. They're not going to take the extra 15 or 20 that they need to do.
Yeah.
To get, to get the flow and everything running in the direction they need.
They will take the path of least resistance. Even if that path doesn't exist, they'll make an imaginary one. Yep. And be like, oh, that's it. That's the path. It's like, well, that path doesn't exist. Oh, but that's the one I see.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's
awesome. Good luck with that.
The whole delusional fucking status is a massive thing.
Oh, it's ridiculous now.
It's like, how in the hell do you figure that you can go around in this daydream fairyland, create this weird angle of nothing, and then get somewhere out of it? Like, it makes no sense.
Like, the biggest one I'm seeing on the internet right now is like, the housing, right? The housing and financial status. So you've got the boomers, right? They bought their properties for pittance in comparison, right?
Yeah.
Exactly, but things back then were totally different. The wage the income that you would get more than succeeded every bit of money that you would send everywhere else, right? More than so you could save money. You could buy that $30,000 house. You could do all of those things. And now it's impossible. You can't do it now. But the strange thing is that the boomers are telling us that we're lazy because we're not saving money, and we need to stop putting avocado on our toast and shit. Bitch, if I didn't eat anything, right? If I didn't eat, I didn't drink, I didn't pay for shit, I still wouldn't have enough money for a fucking house. Even if I saved up all that money for the next 20 years. It's just not going to happen. Right? But I saw a video the other day. It was about Gen Z blaming the millennials, right? Not the boomers, the millennials. The millennials had it good, and they've got more money, and, I'm like, no, I fucking don't. I don't have any money. I started broke, and I ended broke.
I am what I started.
Yeah,
I started where I am.
I didn't get anywhere. So
I'm fucking same, man. Like, honestly,
yeah. I understand. Gen Z has it tough. I understand that aspect. It is tough out there. They can't afford to do anything, but they are kind of lazy. They don't want to do things. You've got to make sacrifices.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's
you got to make sacrifices. It's like,
same,
you have to
same everywhere.
You have to travel into an office to do your work. Okay, that's a sacrifice, but you get paid. But a lot of these.
By the time I buy my branded lunch, and I've got to drive my branded car and put all that fuel in, and
I can't possibly afford these Nikes that I'm wearing.
Jesus, I'm only going to have like a quarter of my paycheck left. What am I supposed to do with that?
I can't go out
Get in fucking
partying.
line like everyone else.
Yeah, it's like, well, first, like, it's because it's all mixed up. Get your priorities in straight, for starters. You know, make a few sacrifices here and there. Everything will even out.
Does that come back to parenting?
Oh,
I
absolutely.
know it's a bit of a sidetrack on our subject, but
as we always do. But I totally agree.
Is that not the parents teaching the children what they're about to? And I know not all parents are, because I know there's a lot of engaged parents with their children. I know there's a lot out there. So again, those of you who are involved and are doing the good thing, pipe down, calm down. It's okay. We're not targeting you. The ones we're targeting are the ones who are just like, well, I never got anything in my life, so fuck it. I'm going to just give everything out to my kids, and they're going to have everything. And then when the kids leave home, they go, Mum, the boss didn't give me my paycheck. Well, did you go to work? No, I stayed home all week.
Yeah.
Well, that's not right. He should paycheck. Right.
So
it's that band of twits that did the whole, I didn't get it as a kid, you can have everything.
Okay. This is where I'll say it's the millennials' fault, right? I will say that it was our generation that really fucked this one. Okay, so our parents, right? The boomers, all them, you know, right? It was tough love back then, because that's what it was. Everything back then was tough love, right? So there's a portion of us millennials who still live by that standard. It's like, tough love, it fucking works, and we know it works, right? But then you have a good portion that are like, oh, you know, we've done some psychological study and we've noticed that, you know, a lot of kids don't, you know, meld well with that sort of parenting. So, you know, if they do something wrong, instead of saying no, just let them do what they're doing and then be like, now, look, listen to me. Just get on their level and talk real softly with it. I can tell you that doesn't fucking work at all.
No, it doesn't. Because what you end up with is your Gen Zers.
Because, yeah, but that's it. But that's where a lot of this generation has come from. You know, that's what's standing out the most. I'm not saying they're all like that. There are some with their heads screwed on, which is good. But there's a good portion that have just
lost.
You know, they got babied.
Yep.
You know, all the way up through. You know, teenagehood.
They're literally the parents who had nothing as a kid because their parents sacrificed everything to make sure the family could, you know, live.
Yeah. I mean,
and because they never got it, they went, well, shit, I'm going to give my kids everything, and that's what they do. They just hand it out like a lolly water.
Yeah.
And then when the kids actually go out to a real job or a real house,
they just expect stuff handed to them.
Yeah, the real estate says, hey, you haven't paid your rent in 3 weeks, you're out. They're like, oh, but.
Boo-hoo, could you give me another week on that, please? Pretty please?
I didn't know. Like, yes, you did. Don't fucking lie. You know damn well.
Yeah.
You signed an agreement that said you will pay X amount per week or per month on that house. Don't be a dickwit.
I think it comes down to how it was taught, right?
Yeah.
To kids. So, like, me as a child, I understood. Can't afford everything. Right?
Yep.
There were weeks where you know, you got what you were given, that was it. Sorry, we can't afford to do anything.
Yep.
Come Christmas, though, bam! Like, oh, man, Christmas was huge. But, like, that was the one thing. You know, that was always the one thing. That was like, you know, that has to be a thing, so you got something to look forward to at the end of the year. And, like, very rarely would be like, oh, we're going to a theme park. And, you know, we'd be super excited because we got used to the fact of not getting anything. Like, you didn't ask for anything when you were out because that's what we were taught. Never ask for anything when you're out because you're going to get told no. You know,
or a smack in the back of the head. One of the
two. So when you did end up going somewhere or you ended up getting something, you were like, holy shit, this is amazing. This is the best fucking thing ever. And you sort of
actually learnt to appreciate it.
Yes, you did. Like, as tough as it was.
Ironically enough.
Yeah. And there's no appreciation anymore.
No, there's not. Like
it's demand, get, and that's it.
Because there's too many of those millennials that got everything handed to them. You know, they just got it given to them. Here, take it, take it. You want it, you have it. You know, because these parents, and I say this, they're not fucking parents, right? No. At some point, you have to be your kid's worst enemy.
Yes.
There's no question about it. You have to be the worst enemy, because then they learn to appreciate you as a human being and what you go through to make sacrifices, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the ones who didn't parent were too busy trying to be bloody friends.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the line has gone into absolute mud.
And, you know, I worked at a supermarket. I saw it every day. You'd see the parents come in with their kids. Kids would run wild. They'd be touching everything. They'd be eating stuff. And the parents would just be trotting along. Or they're on the phone. Or they're talking with their friends. You know, hogging up an entire aisle. And it's just like, they're okay. They're not hurting anything. It's like, yeah, no, they fucking are.
The worst step, right? And I will say this as probably the worst thing that a parent would do. And that's when they take their child out who is not in school, so they're obviously under the age of 5.
Yeah.
And that child is walking around with a fucking $900 iPad.
Oh.
Fuck.
Oh, like immediately as soon as they get out of the car, it's like, here, just to shut them up, right? Because they know, the parent knows that's an easy method, that's going to shut them up.
Now, it's a learned behavior. That child then knows if they don't get the iPad, they crack a tantrum, they get what they want.
And it's welcome
to content creation. Crack a tantrum to get noticed, create dumb shit like, you know, old mate who walks around with his fucking bodyguard carrying on like a fucking idiot. And then all of a sudden you get what you want. You get maturity, you get big, you get
I'll extend on that story. It's like walking into a supermarket and the child cracks the biggest fucking tanty. It's like, I'm hungry, I want this. And they're like, here. And just grab something off the shelf and just, here, have that. Fuck off. Like, no, sorry. That. Because that's all the same thing. It's just, here, shut up.
It's a learned behavior. The child learns, they throw a tantrum, they get what they want.
Yeah.
And there's too many parents that aren't parents. There are too many people out there that want to be friends to their children, not a parent.
Yeah.
And it comes through into the creation zone as well, because they don't have creativity. They don't know how to work.
Because
they don't want to work because they want to crack a tantrum and get what they're given.
Yeah. And there's no guidance.
No.
There's no guidance on, you know, what's a respectable way to go around things. It's like there's none of that. It's you know, this person got famous doing this. Oh, sweet. I want to be famous too. I'm going to do that.
Yep.
Oh, I did it for a day and no one showed me any attention. Oh, boo-hoo, woe was me. I'm going to go kill myself.
I'm going to go to social media and call everyone out and tell them that, you know, how they've made me feel bad and no one really cares.
Yeah.
Oh, sympathy.
We'll get to that. No, but like...
but, yeah, that falls under another topic, which we will cover in the show.
Yeah.
In a moment. But yeah.
But like, but this all, it all sort of links together. You know, it's the laziness, it's expecting things to happen. You know, just because you open a door doesn't mean people are going to walk through it. Right? And this stems into, like, our next topic was of multi-streaming. Right? Because it basically works the same way. You know, it's... I'm going to stand here and I'm just going to preach off my box and just have all these doors open and I'm just going to expect people to flock on in. But they're going to stay in those rooms on the other side of the door where I can't actually talk to them properly, you know. So
because I have the key to unlock the door.
Yeah. it's like it's like they've just like opened the flap, like open, like there's like a little flap in the door.
Just open it and just
what
are you doing in there?
They're just standing in the hallway talking to all these different rooms. Yeah.
So yeah, Now, again, not all people who multi-stream are dipshits.
Correct.
We have some very, very good friends in our circle that do multi-stream and are very, very good at it.
Mm.
So again, this isn't targeted at anyone in particular. However, there was someone on Twitter the other day, Kellenvor, actually said openly that he is sick and tired of going into multi-streams who only interact with one or two chats. Now, this got us talking. This got Speed and I really down, and this really got under our skin a lot. Because people would look at what was said from that individual. And again, no problems with Kellenvor at all. I support the guy. I'm in his channel. I chat to him, all that kind of stuff. I have no problems with him. People would look at him and say, but you multi-stream. How can you be so critical on your own people? But it's not about being critical. It's about being accountable. We don't have enough accountability across the spectrum in general to say, hey, if you're going to multi-stream, you're going to represent this section of the community, you need to do it the right way. Right? And you need to pay attention. There's no point having all these businesses, because every single one of these streams that you push out to other sites is a business.
Yeah.
I don't care what anyone fucking says. You can argue the shit with me, get in a one-on-one call, and we'll go ham on this. I don't care. I will debate this in a boxing ring. I don't care. Let's debate it. I don't really mind, right? The simple fact is, every single output you make is a business. Period. Each and every single one needs to have the same respect. Now, if you're not going to commit to those and open those doors, why are you even bothering sending the output to those specific spots? It makes no sense. And to be honest, it stems back into that Gen Z type millennial shit where we're talking about where they've just been handed everything.
Yeah.
So they just think that they can go everywhere and everyone will flock to them and they'll be the next thing overnight. They'll be the hugest thing without understanding it took some of the top 1 or 2% streamers 15 plus years to hit these goals.
Yeah. Because they've been taught now, right? There are people out there, for whatever unknown reason, are telling these people, in order for you to be successful, you must multi-stream.
Yep.
And
I've heard it.
But there's no explanation around that.
I've actually been in a chat and heard that from the creator themselves.
Yeah. And that is utter crap. Right? You don't need to multi-stream to be successful. You can be successful just being exclusive to a platform. Just in your own way. That's fine. You're still successful in your eyes. You know
the funniest thing, in regards to this subject, the funniest thing that I find is 9 out of 10 people that I see who multi-stream also complain about having 2 jobs just to survive.
Yeah, but you don't see...
What?
You don't see people giving 100% attention to every platform that they're streaming on either.
Like, if you've got 2 jobs, you're already stretched thin. You can't necessarily give each job 100%. Something is going to lack somewhere down the line.
No way.
Now, on top of that, you want to run 7 businesses.
Like,
you're running 2 jobs. How in the fuck are you going to give everything 100%? You can't do it. It's absolutely ludicrous. And yes, I know everybody is going to come up with the same bullshit answer. Oh, Lord, but Mixer died. Fuck off.
Yeah, right. We can't trust platforms anymore.
And yeet it out of here and go on with the fucking job. If you support a platform, 100%, that platform, in essence, is getting 100% of your effort. Your effort will be evolved into bringing more people to said platform. Guess what? You got more chance of that platform fucking surviving.
Yeah.
When you take yourself and you split yourself into 7 different places and you can give them barely 15% each, guess what?
Yeah.
One of them ain't going to survive.
Yeah. Now, like, anyone who's been here long enough, right, knows my stance on multi-streaming. And my stance has evolved, right, over time. Right. So I don't hate multi-streaming. I don't hate it. I see it can be used as a useful tool early on, right? But you still have to, at some stage, make a choice on where you're going to solidify all of that effort. It has to go to one place. You can't just be like, oh, well, I'm still just going to stream everywhere, even though I'm super popular on this one platform, because that's I need to get noticed somehow. I need to get exposure and whatnot. It's like, well, at that stage, you've already had your exposure. It's clearly not working for you on all these other platforms. Focus your attention on the one or two that are working for you.
As I said before, we do have multi-streamers within our circle.
Yeah.
And they are damn good at what they do. And some of them just don't care. Like, they're not in it for like the masses of numbers and the millions of dollars. They're not in it for that shit. What they're in it for is just having fun. They don't care about the numbers side of it and all that kind of shit. So there is good multi-streamers out there. And I did say Kellen Vore before. He does multi-stream. There's a few others.
Yeah.
But what specifically around multi-streaming kind of triggered this conversation was a situation that took place between Speed and another creator here on LiveSpace.
Yes.
Where a question was raised about, okay, if Site A has all the features you want, why are you looking to a new site that is only a matter of months old that doesn't have all your features? And that
it was a legitimate question. I wasn't,
which will come into the next part of the show a bit later. But
like I wasn't
turned it into something it wasn't.
I wasn't attacking anyone by any means. It was a genuine question, because they were praising, multi-streaming is, how you get things done. I'm like, yeah, and it was just a genuine question. It's like, okay, so this place that you're on now, that you spend most of your time, has all of the stuff that you need as the streamer or content creator that you are for you to enjoy streaming, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, so if they've got everything you want, why don't you stay there? Because to me, that's just like simple math. They've got everything you want. Yeah, they might do dickhead things sometimes, but they've got everything you want. There's no point going elsewhere and being like, oh, man, I really wish they had this thing that I know damn well they're not going to have for a very long time, if ever. It's like, oh, man, I really love Burger King. Oh, man, I love eating these Whoppers. And then you walk into McDonald's and go, oh, man, this place would be really great if they sold Whoppers. That's the sort of mentality.
Yeah. That falls into that whole, the multi-streaming essence is, oh, I've gone to here and they have this feature and that feature, but I'm going to this new place that's only just open and they better have everything I fucking want.
Yeah.
Because if they don't, I'm going to scream from the tops of the hills that this site is shit. The UI's crap. It doesn't have this. It doesn't have all the things that I need to support my business.
Yeah.
And it's like, at what point do we draw the fucking line and tell these people, hey, put a sock in it, shut the hell up, and actually give the site a chance to fucking work?
Yeah. Yeah, because we saw that with Glimish, though.
Lady.
Yeah. One day, maybe in America, who knows? But like,
Uh,
but we saw it on Glimish as well. Glimish launched, and we saw all these people coming over from Twitch, be like, "You need this, you need that, you need to implement this. This will be like the key thing for me to
Yeah.
make my move over here. Not full time, but I'm gonna maybe consider it after you do that really important feature that no one else is going to use."
and then
You
what
know,
happens? What fucking happens?
oh,
That feature rolls out. Off with the
crickets.
fucking fairies. They're never fucking there.
Yeah, yeah.
Fuck no.
Like,
I'm sorry, but no. They want that feature, and then all of a
and,
sudden they're like, oh,
and
3 years
this
later,
is
I didn't realize that Glimish had that feature.
yeah.
When did they
Uh,
bring that out? Well, if you'd have paid any fucking attention, you'd have known that. Like, you know what I mean?
and
Like,
this is where I think
oh,
LiveSpace is really going to sort of come out into its own, because it's listening to everything, right? It has its roadmap, which it's not disclosing a lot of, but they've got their roadmap. They're trying to stick to it, and they'll just sort of pick things as they're going along. Be like, yeah,
Hey,
that's not bad. We'll implement that.
just to elaborate on that, okay? So, as much as I agree with about 70% of your statement,
Mm,
there's a certain point where they're listening to everything,
mm.
but they're only taking out the volume of what actually makes sense to the system.
Yes,
They're not listening to all the shit that gets thrown around and be like, oh yeah,
and
well,
there
hey,
is a lot of
add
shit.
this, blah blah blah. They're like, right,
Yeah.
buddy, go, calm back down, get off the red cordial or stay off the jelly beans or something. just pipe down. Look, in fairness, between Todd and Spencer, the two brains behind Ellis, the roadmap they released is a very, very clear indication of the direction that they want to take.
100%.
If anyone looks at that and can't figure out what the direction is, there's a big problem. Now,
Yeah.
again, we spoke about on my personal channel, we spoke about things that, that we as a community saw for LiveSpace and what they needed. And a few of those things have been addressed. Now, whether that's coincidental, whether that's just, it's been put forward and people have started to pay attention to it and it's gained a bit of traction, whatever it is, it indicates that there are certain voices that have, I guess, slightly higher priority, if you will. They sort of listen a little bit more and say, okay, so we've got 10 of our top 50 people have said this exact same thing. Maybe we need to look at that because, we've got people from all over the place that have come into this one circle and they all say the same thing. These other 30 or 40 people are all just dribbling shit. We have a focus. So, like I say, not to say that it's come from my channel or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I think there's definitely a percentage of where X people are talking about X feature and that becomes a volume.
But you
rather
can
than
sort
just
of...
a noise.
You can definitely see it on the Discord for LiveSpace.
Yeah.
In the features thing. There's a lot of stuff that goes in there that's like, ugh, really? Like, that's a one-off thing. Like, that's only going to support you, But and you start to see similar names show up
all the time.
And you're like, oh, look, you just want. You want all these things. Half of them don't make any sense. A lot of them would be an absolute nightmare to implement. And then some of them are like really great ideas that just sort of get lost amongst all of the shit ones.
The ones that I find extraordinarily funny is, the person who gets no one in their chat, doesn't really know how to stream, and then offers experience on how to build, what features need to... It's like...
Right.
I'm sorry? Weren't you the one that just told me through DMs that you don't actually talk to your stream? You need someone in your party to talk to them because you don't know how to do that shit? But yet you're going to tell a site how to add features or what to add so it makes it easier for you? but you don't do anything. So how about you just take that and
Yeah.
shut up?
Yeah.
How about you? How about you leave it to the big boys to talk about? You know what I mean? You go back into the
Yeah.
sand pit and just play with your little sand toys and leave leave mummy and daddy to work that out. You all right?
Yeah.
Good boy. Back down.
Yeah.
Again, this we see this across every platform. We see it. I've seen it across Trovo. I've seen it across Glimish. I've seen it across Kick. I've seen it across Twitch. We've seen it everywhere, right?
Yeah.
And we're not. Look, we might be two guys sitting here yapping on about a whole bunch of shit, but I can tell you now, we do a lot of research, right? We both dig the deep holes of the internet, and we find some of the most random shit,
really deep.
And you will find that out through the year, that there's probably some shit you're going to hear about in the show and go like, where in the fuck did you boys find that? And trust me, we sit there and ask ourselves the same thing. So yeah, I mean, again, a lot of what we do have is open public data. Everyone can see it. You know, if you open your eyes and you read, you will find it very quickly and very easily as to what said person has done. And then you go and look at said person's profile and be like, oh, no one is ever fucking here. But make me this feature, please. I'd love this feature. Fuck this platform. Please make me this feature. It's like, fuck
like, it's very easy. It's very easy to just sort of appear out of the woodwork and be like, I've got an idea. And just splurt out an idea. That's cool. I can come up with 50 ideas right now of how to better the platform. That's great. It doesn't actually mean that they're going to be good ideas. You know.
Well, they're not going to fall into the roadmap of what the platform wants to go
exactly. It's got to fit into what they have planned. You know, the big features that they've got planned. If they're like, oh yeah, that's not a bad addition to that one feature that we've got later on down the line. Yeah, all right. We might sort of squeeze that in. That's cool. You know, but you can't just say something and expect it to come into fruition.
If I can jump in there, if you guys are actually on Twitter in chat right now, head over to the Speed Demons wall and go and look at the GIF support that we were talking about, that he actually made a video on it. Go and put that. Go and vote that up. Like, we need that in the chat, right? We need that feature.
So, to add on to that, right? I did make a tweet about, you know, the one thing I missed from Mixer was replying in GIF form. And it's GIF, it's not GIF for any one of those fucking
GIF is a cleaning agent.
Right, it's GIF. So, you know, because that's the feature that I love the most off Mixer. It was quirky, it was different. No one else was doing it. You know, it allowed people to sort of interact without actually interacting, kind of thing. It was a weird one.
We should actually pay homage to Tech for that video too, and actually thank him for his contribution without him knowing about it.
Yes, don't worry, I blanked all the names out that were appropriate. No, but the idea is there, right?
That's the concept, yeah.
Because there's some times where you can just plonk a GIF in chat, and it gives off way more information than any line of text does, right? Because you could reply to something that's happening, it might give off what you're trying to say, but not all the time. You get like that one GIF that's like on the money, and
if anybody wants to see the elaboration on that, click on the Twitter link, go and have a look.
Yeah, like I did.
We were messing around with that in Discord, but again, that's...
so no, there's no copyright laws. So
creative license.
Yeah. So there was an original tweet where I did say, you know, I missed this feature. You know, it was a great thing. People got to interact without actually talking in chat, and LiveSpace did like that tweet, right? So, and they liked it pretty quickly after I posted it. So I have a feeling, right, that it may be in the works, Right. Just based
And
on that
again,
very sort of quick response to that.
this falls back to that, there's certain people that have got a little bit more input, I guess, if you will. There's a little bit more experience there, so they kind of take that thing on board.
Yeah.
But yeah, that Twitter, that Twitter link there, or the Elon Musk social media, go and check that out and hit it. Just tell LiveSpace, yeah, get this in.
Right. Yeah.
Because it is absolutely hilarious. I'm sorry, but it is the funniest shit. Like, honestly, we so a bit of a rundown on that. I was in with Tech in his Discord. He had a stage channel, and in the stage you can actually chat 1-to-1. Now, LiveSpace is getting web RTC in the next 55 days, 54 days.
Well, it was, yeah.
Something like that.
They said 60 days, didn't they?
Anyway, from that point, it was 60 days.
Yeah.
So anyway,
yeah.
Moving on, that's going to give you that 1-to-1 chat, which is going to be great for the show because we do like your guys' input. Right? We do like to have your input. So I was in his Discord, and you can drop gifts. So every time he's talking and he's streaming his games in there, you can drop gifts, and it's just funny. It's just literally funny the way you go about things. Like the conversation can just take a complete and utter different twist.
Oh, absolutely.
With one little 3-second animated movie in the chat, it can just change the dynamic. And it was so fun. Like, I've never had so much fun in a stream, if you will, as what I did hanging out in Discord while Tech was streaming some Enshrouded gameplay.
Yeah.
And it was fun. And I think if we get to that point of where gifts really do come into chat, and we can have a have a nice little backwards and forwards banter, it'll create funny moments. It'll create more of those highlights or those clips that you want to have. Because you're playing golf and you get a hole in one, and someone will take that hole in one as something slightly a little bit.
Well, that's it. But it adds.
In there, it's like, well, that's not what I meant, but all right.
But it adds so much more to chat, though.
It's a dynamic.
Yeah, because okay, it's one thing just typing in chat, lame. Everyone does that, and you kind of get your emojis or your emotes going on, and that's cool to a degree. A lot of people have those emotes locked behind a subscription paywall. That's their choice, but whatever.
No.
Like,
they have it locked behind a fucking paywall. You can say it. We're off the hook.
But but gifs just it doesn't matter how good your animated emote is. It doesn't give the same as what a GIF does, because GIFs are way more relatable to everyone than anything else. We live in like a meme society now, so GIFs are like top dog, really.
100%. It's just a dynamic. It just creates more of a community feel. And given the roadmap that Spencer put out, I get a feeling that there is actually a lot of that community congestion. Like it's being packaged as we're talking, right? There's a lot of that encumbrance of what LiveSpace is all about. Yeah. And I think in the next probably 5 or 6 months, we're really going to see what LiveSpace is all about. And I think if you haven't got your friends over here yet, get them in here. Yeah. Okay? Yeah, the features aren't here. It's not feature packed. But, again, get them in now. But because I think in the next 6 months, you're going to see a very big shift. Absolutely.
But, like, the biggest thing, right? And this is where I look at some people and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, LiveSpace's biggest thing is, like, their hashtag is dare to be different.
Oh, yeah.
Right? They are daring to be different. They want to change the landscape. They want to do things differently. They want their own spin on everything, which I think is fucking tops.
They're not just daring to be different.
Yeah.
They are being different.
Yes. But to have people come in and want the same old stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. What?
it's like,
Oh,
oh,
I hate Twitch, but can you give me bits? Oh, I hate Twitch, but can you give me
like
this integration?
yeah, like they are bringing out channel
Oh,
points, if I remember correctly, out of that letter.
that's part of the
Uh,
layers. Yeah, yeah. It's in the
yeah,
layer
so there
update.
will be some form of channel points. What their idea of is to implement those channel points, like what they go towards, who knows?
That will link, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah.
that will link to Botrix.
Ooh.
Because they have announced that they have got their connection now with Botrix, and it does work.
Yeah, and props to Botrix as well. You know,
Yeah, they
and
come in early and they
I
hung
think
around.
T is really sort of pushing for that one as well. Um, like just to be like the primary bot that
Yeah.
LiveSpace is sort of
Oh,
really
yeah.
going for.
Yep.
Oh, it's huge things for Botrix, like
Yep.
in that aspect. So I'm looking
The
forward to that one.
partnership there, or the commitment to each side
Mm.
is huge. I
Yeah,
mean, there's no question about it.
yeah,
It is massive,
yeah,
and to have that now, after what is it, 5 months of open beta, not
yeah,
even 6 months of open beta, and they've already got the API ready to start working with other third party agencies.
yeah.
That is just
Oh, like,
hair no fit.
and
The
I would not
WebRTC.
be surprised if Botrix gets first pick. You know, they get like the API a little bit
Oh,
earlier than everyone else. I would not be
oh,
surprised if
absolutely.
that happened. You know,
Although
that
I
way.
wouldn't see, I don't see Spencer or Todd being like that because it's all about the sense of community.
I mean, I
So
get that,
be
but
included. So
it
bring
all
them all in.
depends on the
The reason I say that, though, the reason I say that is because each individual third party has a different need or requirement.
true.
So if they get the input from those guys and girls, it could give them a better API structure.
Hmm.
So that's why I say I don't see them necessarily going, "Hey, Botrix, you first." No, I see
No, no,
them
no.
saying,
But
"Hey,
I mean, you know,
everyone,
we
come and talk
don't.
to us, and we'll work it out."
Yeah, we don't necessarily know the agreement that's in place either.
Oh
I mean,
no,
it could
but
just be a hey, you're a good bud kind of, you know, relationship, or it could be like, hey, you know, you now get like a a week early of exclusive access to our API before anyone
oh,
else does, or something. You
oh,
know, whatever. Don't
I
know.
don't see that happening.
I know it's a
I
bit of a
just don't see
stretch
it.
example,
But
but
yeah,
yeah, but you
it,
don't know.
it's good that the API is available publicly,
Yes,
that they can actually come in and
yeah,
get access to try and
and
build. I mean, we know Mix It Up and other places probably aren't switched onto it and probably don't want to be either.
oh
You
yeah,
know, Mix It Up's already focused on 3 or 4 different parts. They don't need to add another one. They've
yeah,
already got more than enough work
yeah,
to keep them busy. We know things like, Nightbot and some of those other cloud bots
yeah,
probably aren't going to bother because,
yeah.
again, people will look at all the effort that went into
Mm,
to Mixer or into Glimish, for example, that only
mm,
lasted 2 years before it just imploded and disappeared. So again, it's about trying to have the balance
yeah.
to get the best out of it.
Yeah, I mean, but you're always going to have those third parties that are going to be like, well, no, we're not going to bother with that. I mean, look at
We'll wait
OBS.
till
You know, they had FTL support only because of Mixer, and Glimish started using FTL. Cool. OBS didn't give a shit about Glimish, so
no,
they'd already
basically
planned on
deprecated.
deprecating the feature
Yeah,
well before then.
yeah.
So
But
then
give LiveSpace a chance of that WebRTC. I reckon that's going to be just as fast,
oh look, I
and that's
absolutely
already
agree.
supported by OBS.
And it in their latest beta update for the next big update for OBS, they have updated to have AV1 support for WebRTC. So they're like really pushing for the WebRTC thing right now, like in the last few updates. So they're making sure that thing is rocking and raring to go. And I guarantee, as soon as that stable release comes out for that update,
And
I would
I
not be
think
surprised if LiveSpace is like, "Hi, we've
I
got
think that's why
WebRTC
Spencer put
available
the
now."
60 days on it.
Yeah.
Because that's roughly what the OBS updates in Circle. Like it's in beta for like 30 days.
Well,
Then it gets
it depends
released, and that gives them
on
30 days to try and boost it as well. So I think
it depends
roughly
on the
that
update
60
cycle.
days.
So if a certain minor patch has too many issues, it obviously extends the timeline a bit. Then you got your sort of median patch somewhere in there, which it could
But in
have the same
general,
sort of effects. I think it was just sort of the
from a beta to a
generalized
full
window.
feature, 60.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was the generalized window that OBS had given them, being like,
Yeah.
look, we're sort of aiming for about this time frame. Give a little bit of time after that, just in case things go awry. Just so that you're ready when we're ready, kind of thing.
Yeah. So I think that's going to be really good. But if we can get that GIF feature in on that WebRTC, that's going to be
Oh,
game
yeah,
changer.
yeah. Because I mean, you're talking like real time reactions to everything, which,
Yeah.
as we've all experienced, make a huge difference. Like,
I mean, let's be honest. RTMP, as much as it's quality and it works, it's like getting a 1960s mower trying to mow your yard when you've
yeah,
got the brand new ones that do it in half the time. It's like,
it's not future proof.
RTMP, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's not
what am
future
I going to
proof.
do? Something.
There
And
are
this will,
things that don't work today that worked great back then.
this WebRTC will also be monitored in the background, I reckon, to find out how much it gets used.
Yeah,
Because multi-streamers can't use it.
exactly. Well, I mean, because all right, so I was reading the letter, and I hit the portion of WebRTC and all that sort of jazz, and we've spoken about this and had a bit of a heated debate here and there about it all, but it raised more questions for me. So the answers I was given gave me twice as many questions. So they are going to be running WebRTC and RTMP side by side, right? There's no transcoding for WebRTC. Well, there shouldn't be, but I think that there is going to be, mainly for the VODs, which is weird, But like, I question how long is RTMP going to stick around for, because a lot of the features that they have in place right now around, encoding and all that sort of jazz are based around RTMP. So, and you don't need a lot of those things when you get to WebRTC. Like, you don't need transcoding on the fly because WebRTC does that on the fly itself. So by moving over to WebRTC, you immediately eliminate RTMP, transcoding, all that sort of jazz. So it may just come down to it just gets recorded on the other end. That's your VOD, So by removing all of that transcoding nonsense, which God knows how much it's costing them right now, you ease the load on many levels and you create a superior product.
Yeah.
So there's too much unknown for me. I need to know more, but I know I'm not going to be told any more than what I already know, unfortunately. But yeah, it's
I mean,
just
the best thing for us is to wait till it comes out.
Yeah.
See what it does. But it's going to be a game changer. I mean,
100%.
You're going to have Twitch looking at it. You're going to have Kick looking at it. You're going to have YouTube, Facebook, Trovo even. You're going to have all those guys looking at it going, how did a small site come up with that technology and get it implemented?
Well, the thing is, right,
The
the road they're going down they're going to jump the gun on a lot of these other big platforms. You know,
Oh,
like,
shit, yeah.
yes, YouTube has AV1 encoding, right? Okay. Who cares about YouTube? Except for our VODs. By all means, go over there, subscribe, and watch all of the VODs. But, like, in the streaming space, there's none of that. You know, it's... Like, you'll find that, you know, Trovo, Twitch, you know, Kick, they'll stick with RTMP because that's what 90% of their users want, because it works with everything. You know, they're not... You won't see Twitch one day be like, oh, you know, so we're implementing this new super fast, you know, WebRTC that we're going to call something completely different because we're just like Apple, and we're just going to say it's this other product when it's not. You're not going to see that. You know, they've already brought out their own sort of version of a very short latency stream tech, whatever it is. It's still RTMP, right? Because it's safe. Right, these big platforms aren't going to move away from what's safe. This is where LiveSpace comes out to its own. Be like, look, we're small enough, we can take the risk, we're going to fucking do it. We know that this tech that we're going to implement is future-proof. This is going to last well beyond RTMP.
But you know what? It's not even a high risk. That's the joyous thing about it.
Yeah.
Because they're so fresh and so new and so small, it's a risk that's going to pay off.
Yeah.
It's a risk that's going to be rewarded without having the problem of 7 million people going, oh, we didn't ask for that.
Yeah.
We're not going to use it. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. So, like, my biggest question out of it all was, will they deprecate RTMP for LiveSpace? Or will they keep it around solely for the fact of multi-streamers?
You'd have to have an RTMP option. But there's no two ways about it. You'd have to have an RTMP option until they get data on how much it's being used. You would need to...
Well, see, righto, mate.
Wow. Sorry about that. No. Because, okay, so you can implement WebRTC, right?
Yes.
That's only going to be supported through certain perspectives. So you're not going to be able to multi-stream with it. If you take your multi-streams off the platform, to be fair, you're losing 70% of your user base right now. You can't do that because you're not going to have the stability on the other 30%. You need to keep that RTMP at least until much later down the track. Now, this is the opposite of what we saw at Glimish. Glimish had FTL, right? They were like, no, we're FTL. And then the scream came for RTMP. And they're like, oh, okay, we'll let the restreamers come and stream here. And what happened? They used it for like 3 days and then buggered off. No one ever come back.
Yeah.
So the fact that they'll be able to track, I would suggest, through data records of how much the WebRTC is being used versus the RTMP, once they get a good number of, you know, where the WebRTC starts to outbalance the RTMP, maybe then they can deprecate it.
But that data is not going to be entirely accurate. You know, because you are going to have a whole heap of restreamers who aren't going to use WebRTC. And we've already seen on the platform that there's a good majority of people who do that.
But that's what I'm saying. You can see how many connections are coming in on WebRTC, how many are coming in on RTMP. Now, if it gets to a point where the WebRTC is growing and there's more WebRTC users than there is RTMP, maybe then they can put a...
Well,
because they're also holding on to SRT as well.
Yeah, which they shouldn't. They need to get rid of SRT. But, like, alright, so it comes down to how they market WebRTC. Are they going to market it hard? Are they going to be like, this is real-time streaming at its finest? Zero transcoding, you know, it's just, bam, like, high-quality shit. Yeah, are they going to market it as that? Or are they sort of going to be like, oh, hey, we've got WebRTC, and just sort of let everyone sort of make up their own mind about it? Like, I feel like they need to push it. Yeah,
I
it needs
mean,
to be
if
something
it's
that they
me,
have to push.
if it's me, I'm doing a big spruik on the first day, and then I'm going to see what goes on.
Yeah.
Because I want to see the amount of users that want to come in and use it just for that option, or how many from the same IP are actually going to use both.
Yeah.
Because we've already had people on the platform go running 2 programs to stream to 2 different places.
Yes.
So one will use RTMP to go to the 5 others, and then they'll use WebRTC.
Yeah,
to,
no, but then that's going to fall
know,
into those people who are like, oh, but, I want everything in the one place. That's going to spur that fucking argument
So
again.
again, we'll wait and see what they do. I mean, at the end of the day, they've made good choices to this point.
Absolutely.
I'm sure they're going to make good choices
Like,
in the future. With
me, personally, I would release WebRTC, let it run for a while, get people used to the idea of WebRTC, see it in action, whatnot, and then at some point be like, RTMP's going.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying.
This is the cutoff date. We're giving you more than enough notice. It's coming.
But that's what I'm saying. Right now, you wouldn't do that if you're only
No. I'm not saying like no,
because you're only going to have.
No,
I'm estimating 30% of your user base will use it, and that's not enough to keep active on the platform. And if you cut out 70% of your base and say, "Sorry,"
but like the biggest thing, like especially when Mixer first introduced FTL, right? Because it didn't have it at the start. It was all RTMP at the start. When Mixer introduced FTL, you had that, sub-second latency out of nowhere. No one had experienced it before. And it was this huge, like, quirky gimmick. It's like, someone typed something in chat, immediately you'd respond to that in chat. And people would be like, oh my god, that was, like, stupidly quick. It was, like, mind-blowing how quick it was. And we might actually see that again. Where the people who didn't experience it on Mixer, who didn't experience it on Glimish, who just don't know that you can have such quick latency times, where you can have conversations in real time with your chat. And I reckon once people start seeing that happen, they'll be like, this is it. I need to use this.
The biggest push that's going to help WebRTC on LiveSpace, and this goes for everybody in chat. You.
Yep.
That's it. You use it, and you spruik it, and you sell it on the platform.
Yep.
That is what will bring people to it, and that's what will bring the awareness. As we've already seen in the last week and a bit about that kick incident, once it hits Twitter and gets momentum, it can blow up quickly.
Yeah. Because it's
going to be RTC on LiveSpace is you.
Because it's going to be different to FTL. This is vastly different to FTL. This is not like when Glimish was like, oh hey, we're using FTL, and everyone's like, ugh, FTL? You mean like Mixer? Like there's no like sort of link to the past. It's WebRTC. It's like, yes, there were, like, I think there was another platform that was going to use WebRTC, but they ended up, like, closing. So not many people sort of knew about that one. But this is something different. It's going to bring that sub-second latency, but with a different technology that everyone uses. Anyone who uses Discord, you use WebRTC. Anyone who does video conferencing, you're using WebRTC.
Well, I mean, Discord use it. Gilded use it. I mean, it's
everyone
already there.
uses
It's already active.
Yeah.
In
you
essence,
just don't know that you're using it.
That's right.
Yeah.
And in essence, like I said to you, with that stage that we were playing around with on Techie Sing before, you could actually do that and then broadcast that through your OBS and be like, hey, everyone, come chat in the Discord and play with Give. You could do that in Discord. I don't want to have to I don't want to have to do that to manipulate the system. But, sometimes you got to look outside the box. You got to look for those ways around things. And, like Gilded, Discord, they've been doing the WebRTC thing for a while. There's other, other communicate like Facebook, your one-to-one calls and video. That's all WebRTC. It's all being done. Like
Yeah.
this technology's there. It's not like anything new,
Yeah.
but it would be new for
But like, I
this.
would, yeah, I would recommend for people to not just go, oh, they're using WebRTC, it's sub-second, and like just not, say a few things about it. I don't recommend that. Show people what it's capable of. Try and think outside the box of scenarios that would really sort of showcase that technology, and record it, put it on social media, put it on YouTube. Just be like, this is its potential that it has. This is a game changer in the industry, and it's future proof.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, that totally future proof.
Yeah, that's going to be the best bet for it to get off the ground.
But the best way to spruik that is through us and you guys, all of us individually on our own channels, on this channel, on your channel, make clips, show people how fast it actually is. Like, show the interaction from when the chat message came in to when you responded to it, like show the interaction. That will show people the power of what is coming.
Absolutely.
Got to be part of the future.
Absolutely.
But anyway, all right, hour and a half. We might wrap this one up. We've got a couple of things we're going to carry over to the next show, which gives us even more for the next one.
And usually,
because that means we covered off at least 2 things out of the 3 that we had, and we're going to carry one over. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but like usually every week something, almost guaranteed, something will happen, and we'll be like, oh my god, we need to talk about that.
Oh no, I'm telling you now, it's every week someone fucks up.
No.
Someone makes a goose of themselves somewhere along the line in the week that we have to go and research some things. But guys, honestly, join the Discord. If you got any ideas, you want to come on the show, you want to talk about the things that are coming up on the show, join us. Come sit. Come get in the booth with us and come chat and talk this shit with us. Don't necessarily have to sit on that side of the screen. You can come on this side and come and have a yarn. We are interactive. We want you. We want your views. We want your opinions. We want your ideas, your topics. What do you want us to talk about? Come and join the Discord. Come and join the family and come and be part of the show.
Right. Not just 2 old dudes having a gas bag.
There is some merch kind of in the designs at the moment. So again, because LiveSpace has 4th wall, we'll be able to link it straight to the channel. So you guys keep your eyes on that channel down the bottom.
Who knows?
The Discord link is there. Come and be a part of it, guys. Honestly,
I'll have
it
to.
is a lot of fun.
I'll have to dust off those old designs.
We'll work it out.
They've been sitting there for a while.
We'll work it out.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Again, we appreciate it. It was a bit of an early show compared to normal. We will go back to Mondays as per the...
Yes, I will repost the image later on in the week, so no one gets confused and whatnot.
So yeah, it'll be down there.
Yes, that's another thing I can do. I can put it in the schedule, in the settings.
Hey,
that's
an
what
idea.
I can do.
Anyway, you guys have been fantastic. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you back here in 8 days' time.
Yeah.
For yet another gas bag and chin wag and pay shit on everything else that doesn't really matter in the world.
Yes.
Be good to yourselves, and we'll see you on the next one.
See you guys.
Bye.